So over here, over here. I don't know if I'm gonna know how to do. I need to stop. No, that was no good. Let's get that out of there. So yeah, okay. Now in today's video, blah, 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 blah. What's up, resellers? I'm Rebecca and you're watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today for a video all about keywords that sell. Having multiple and appropriate keywords can really make a difference in increasing your Poshmark sales, or really sales on any platform for that matter. For the most part, I'm going to focus on Poshmark in this video. Keywords have a couple of different purposes. Mainly though, they are to help you get your item found in search. As a potential buyer is searching for what they want, you want your item to be triggered by that search and pulled up because you have matching words. You also want your keywords in your description or in your title, again, specifically on Poshmark, to help that buyer decide to purchase your listing over another listing that may also meet their search criteria. Now remember, again, you can put your keywords in the title and in the description on Poshmark. Both are searchable fields. Another important component about working with your keywords is to also make sure to share your items as often as you're able to. Obviously, don't drive yourself nuts, but you do want to make sure that your items are getting pulled up to the top of those search results. So if somebody's searching for black and white bodycon dress, you want yours to be recently shared enough so that it will pull up to the top of the search when it pulls for the keywords black and white bodycon dress. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a list of 29 keywords that I have pulled together that are, it's not that they are particularly descriptive of the item per se. Sometimes it's more about the essence, the purpose, the reason behind, a general look, a general feel for an item. So once I get into the list, you'll understand a little bit more about what I mean, but this isn't going to be like sweetheart neckline, V neckline, sleeveless. This isn't going to be that kind of keyword list. This is going to be a keyword list that maybe some of you are familiar with, maybe some of you aren't if you're newer or just haven't really dove into a lot of keyword specifics, but I have found in my searching that these are additional keywords that will help your items sell. Some of these you might know, some of these you might not, but I guarantee that at least one of these you'll take away as something new that you can implement into your Poshmark listings or wherever listings you have to help you increase your sales. I do want you to stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to share with you a couple of tactics that I've used to kind of come up with this list so that you can do your own keyword research in the future. There's a few things that I do from time to time that just help me kind of find out what buyers are searching for and learn a little bit more about some possible new keywords that I can implement. Now, a quick commercial break. As always, I do have an Etsy shop. I've been mentioning it more, and this Etsy shop is full of reseller tools, reseller resources, ebooks, lists, trackers, templates, all kinds of things that I use in my business that I'm making available to you. They're all nominal charges. There's a bunch of different things, but I'm really working on adding more and more to this store so that you have the ability to purchase things that will help you increase your sales and help you run your reselling business. And one of the things that I've recently added is this keywords list. Now, it's not just these words. These are going to be on that list, but there's going to be a lot more. But the keywords list is available in my Etsy store for download, and I encourage you to check it out. If you're a seasoned seller, you may not need something like that, but if you are a newer seller or someone like me that does really struggle to come up with keywords, and sometimes you look at an item and you're like, I have nothing to say about this item. Like, I have nothing else to say. You get the basic shift dress, sleeveless, pockets, this, that. You get the basics, right? But you look at it and you're just kind of like, I don't know what else to say. This list can really be, the purpose for it is really to help you jog or trigger keywords that would apply. So it's not a picture and a keyword. You'd have to look up the picture yourself. In the future, I may develop that. But right now, it's just a list that you can easily go through and be like, yep, this applies. Nope, this doesn't. Yes, this applies. I don't know this one. Let me look it up. It's just a way to kind of expand your knowledge, expand your keyword base, and help you think of things that will help your items come up in search and help your items sell more. So be sure to check out the link down below to my Etsy store and see if any of the products I currently have would be of interest to you as a way to support my channel and say thank you for any of the information I've given you, or to just really help you get some of the tools you need. It's always nice to not have to recreate the wheel and utilize something that someone else came up with, and I'm happy to share all of these tools with you. Let's dive into the list. So first up is Boho and Bohemian. Now I'm not gonna go through and probably comment on every single one of them, but I do wanna comment on these. These, I do actually include both. I feel like people search for both, and I feel like both apply to not obviously every item, of course, if it's not of a boho or bohemian style, but that is very popular right now. So this may be one that you're familiar with, but I wanted to point it out in case someone is new and isn't familiar with this term or isn't familiar with boho or bohemian and doesn't use both of them. But I do include where they apply, both of them in my listing. Next up is long line. And again, I'm not going to explain every single one, so I'm going to start just kind of running through them. But long line is something that could also go along perhaps with the lag and look. And so those are kind of like 2 for the price of 1 basically. But lag and look is a specific style. A lot of people don't know about it. I know that El Ducho Thrift, I think, did an entire video just about lag and look, if I'm not mistaken. And I know if you start searching for it, you can find more information about it. Honestly, I don't really have a lot of those kinds of items in my store, but I know that a lot of people do focus on that, and it is a look that does sell. So if you're not familiar with long line for certain items and then lag and look, you may want to look into that. Next up is Festival. This kind of also goes along with the Boho and Bohemian. Festival over the summertime is very popular. I'm using it with a lot of my boutique items because they're jewelry items, or just like boho belts and things like that. So it kind of goes along with that type of look, but obviously it does apply to a lot of different accessories and clothing items. Next up is dressy shorts. And this is one that I actually struggle with a lot, is how to describe shorts. I feel like sometimes I don't know a lot of keywords, and I actually may do an entire video in the future just about this because I feel like it's an area that I struggle with. I don't know all of the things that I should put for shorts, but the way I found out about this and what I wanted to share with you, and this is kind of like a bonus pro tip, is I looked at how ThreadUp was describing some of the items I sent in. I was really curious to see what kind of keywords they use. And one of them was dressy shorts. And I don't know if I had listed that item in my Poshmark store, if I would have thought of that keyword. So I thought dressy in combination with shorts was a really good term for dressy shorts. And I don't know why I never thought of it. So obviously it's not going to go for like denim shorts and things like that, but it's going to be shorts made of another material that are more of a dressy look. Perhaps you'd wear them with heels or something like that. I don't know. Or even, I don't know that you would wear them to work, but dressy shorts. I don't really know what else to say about it, but I thought that that was an interesting keyword and I wanted to bring it up. The other one that I do have a couple things to say on, and then again, I'll keep going through, is high rise, high waist, high waisted. I put all of them. I don't know what someone is going to search. I don't know what will come up in search, what will trigger the search. So I put them all. If something is high rise, it's also high waist and high waisted, but someone may search for it differently. Let me know in the comments below if you don't agree with this strategy for some reason, because I'd hate to not have to use all of those characters on saying the same thing. But I also feel like if someone is searching high rise and I wrote high waisted, I don't know for sure that my item's gonna come up. I guess I should try it out as an experiment maybe and see. So if you wanna do that, let me know how it goes. Maybe I'll do that when I stop recording, but it's something that I thought to bring up because you may call it high rise. I may call it high waisted, and we may never find each other's items. And so I thought that that might be something where you're not putting all three. I'm putting all three as long as I can remember to do it in every listing that it applies for. And so I thought I would bring that up here. Another one is mom or dad, if it applies for that kind of look. Another is gypsy, goddess. These are things that can also go along with the bohemian look, but I've seen them come up with several listings. Southwestern, I know that that is pretty popular right now. The other one I put here, and it's kind of more like a category, is occasion, date night, girls night out. I have seen that come up more and more. Now, I don't know if that's a particular keyword that will trigger something to sell, but if someone searches for date night dress and you have a dress that someone could wear on a date night, Do you have date night in your description somewhere? Do you have the occasion? Obviously, when someone's searching for a wedding dress, oftentimes we put wedding dress in the description, or prom dress. Those are occasions. But are we doing that for other things? Date night, girls' night out. I mean, you're not going to do it for everything. Maybe graduation. Obviously, right now, people may not have to worry too much about all of that, given the recent circumstances and not having large gatherings. But it's something to think about, the occasion and the purpose of that item. And are you including the variety of purposes and occasions that can be applicable for that item? So that was kind of more like a category. Boxy, oversized, cozy, flowy. Knit. I forget about knit all the time. I'm starting to use it more. I see it more and more. Don't forget about knit if you're not putting it. Embroidered, summer and spring. I can't tell you how many searches I've seen. And again, I'll show you a little bit about how I do this, but spring dress, summer dress, cute summer dress. That's what people are searching for. That's what they're looking for. We need to give it to them. So if you're not putting spring or summer in something where it applies, you may want to consider that. Winter jacket. Try it out. Work versus career. Work versus career versus office. What do you put in there? These are all going to apply to the same types of items, your express, your loft, your Ann Taylor, those kinds of items that are super saturated and you want to make your items stand out. If someone is looking for a work dress, do you have work dress in your title? Do you have work dress in your description? Do you have career dress? These are all interchangeable words, but if you're not putting the right word, your item may not be found. So I'm really starting to put several words that kind of say and mean the same thing so I can capture all of that traffic. Sexy is another one. Cute, cheap. So I did one of my little tactics to find some keywords and I found several searches that said cheap black dress, cheap cocktail dress, cheap summer dress, cheap. And I'm like, who's searching for cheap? Just look at the price. Why would you search cheap? But people do it, and that's the problem. We're thinking of this as sellers. We need to be thinking of this as buyers. And what are the buyers searching for? We need to give it to them. If someone wants a cheap dress and you happen to have a cheap dress, tell them it's a cheap dress. I mean, give them what they want. Help them find your item. Long. That was interesting. That was an eye-opener for me. I don't usually write long as it would apply to perhaps a skirt or a dress. I put maxi because that's what it's called. But not everyone knows, or do they, that it's called maxi. Maybe not everyone is familiar with every single keyword. I know I'm not, and I know I wasn't before I even started being a reseller. I didn't know what half of this stuff was. So if you're a buyer, you may not know that it's called a maxi dress. You know that you just want a long dress. And so you search for a long dress. And here I am writing maxi and my item's not coming up. So it's something to think about. Moving on. Plus size. I've gone back and forth on this. I feel like I'm not plus size. I don't know what a plus size person would search for. If you are a plus size person and want to let me know, that'd be great. But I would think that you look for what size you are. Like I generally know that I'm a large in some things. Sometimes I'm an extra large. Sometimes I'm an 8. Sometimes I'm a 10. It just depends on what it is. But I have all of those different appropriate sizes checked when I'm searching for something. I don't know that I would search plus size dress. But apparently in the research that I've done, people do. They search for plus size top, plus size dress, plus size career dress, plus size black dress, plus size cocktail dress. They look for that. You should have it in your listing. I don't know if it comes up in Poshmark based on the size if they write plus size, but why not? If you have some room, add it in there. Next up, tight. Here we go. Another one like long, so tight. I mean, that could be a lot of different things. And sometimes I do use loose or loose fitting as a keyword, but I've never used tight. And immediately I kind of think of a bodycon dress or a bandage dress, something like that. But I guess it could mean other things. And I don't know, this was in a dress search. Someone was searching for black tight dress. and I saw tight in a couple of other instances as well, referring to dresses. So if the dress is meant to be form-fitting, that's another word that I would use instead of tight. But if the person searching isn't searching for form-fitting, maybe they're searching for tight, and yours isn't going to come up. Something to think about. It's a lot of things to think about with this. Anyway, career, I already mentioned that. Sorry, it was down on the list and I kind of threw them all together earlier. New Year's. I know, and I've heard a lot of resellers in haul videos, and I think I've said it in a couple of haul videos, and when I'm purchasing items, I do think about New Year's. I think of it as an occasion. I think about the sequins, the glitter, and the things that people wear on New Year's Eve. Very festive, very fun, very party. And so some of those keywords, like I'll use party dress sometimes. Obviously, I would use sequined. And I have used New Year's, and I kind of have not thought about it and not really mentioned it ever on my channel. So I thought that was a good one to include. As I was doing my search for dresses, New Year's came up, and I thought, you know, we're not in the season yet, but before you know it, we will be. And so if you have items that you're putting in your store now that perhaps when you bought it, you're like, oh, that would be cute for someone to wear for New Year's, and you have it listed, you could include that keyword now, or when it's approaching New Year's time, you could go in and add that keyword later to items that are already in your closet to help them sell. I've done that a lot. Here's, I guess, a little pro tip. I've gone back and added keywords to bunches of listings, like in bulk, when I found out about it. Like when I did find out about Longline, I went back and looked and found anything that was appropriate to put that keyword, and I just added that in as a tag to those listings that were already in my closet that I now found out about the keyword, and I went in and added it. So for these, let's say you have like a boxy sweater and you didn't have that keyword before, go in and add it. Go look at all your sweaters, see if anything's boxy, and go ahead and add that in. You can add keywords anytime, and as you share those items, it will then help them come up in those searches. So it's never too late to add keywords. It's never too late to revise a listing, and you can always add more keywords. So I just point that out now because it popped in my mind. The other one is casual. I've used this off and on. Sometimes I remember it, sometimes I forget about it. But it's definitely a word that people use sometimes for men's, like men's casual shirt, things like that, but also for women's, a casual dress. And I've seen that more and more on ThreadUp. They classify things as casual. And so perhaps people are searching for casual. And so I think that's something where appropriate could be a good add in as a keyword. The other one is cocktail. I forget about cocktail. I don't know how many people use that word. I feel like that's an older word. Like I feel like people would say mini dress or party dress now more than they would say cocktail. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Different things mean different things to different people. Depending on what part of the country you're in, you may have more of a slang connotation for something, I feel like. So the more at-bats you can give your item, the better. And I feel like adding a lot of these keywords in can help your items get pulled up in search more, especially if you are lacking in this area. Like I feel like I put a lot of keywords already, so it's only when I find out about something completely new that I'm like, oh, I didn't know about this keyword. Let me go ahead and add it in. Do I feel like it would really help me, or just continuing my best practice of adding a lot of keywords? And then there are some keywords that I kind of get into and I get out of and I forget about and I go back. So I do think that, you know, having a good list of keywords that you can make for yourself, or if you don't want to make it and you want to go and buy mine on Etsy, to help jog your memory sometimes and to just kind of help referring and refreshing, I think is a really good thing. So whether you want to make your own, which you totally can, go ahead, make your own, but it's time consuming. I will tell you, I made my own. It's consuming to do. And that's why I made it available for you, because I feel like if I'm going to go through all the trouble of making something for myself, I might as well save you the time. And maybe for those that are newer, add a little more than maybe you would have and make it available to you in the Etsy store. So again, I don't mean to bring that up again. I just feel like it's not like I'm trying to sell you something on purpose just for the sake of selling you something. I'm hoping it will bring you value and make your life a little bit easier and save you time. And for the small fee that it is, will be well worth it. I do feel like if you found a list of keywords or you purchased my list of keywords and it helped you sell 5 more items than you would have without that list, I feel like that's worth it. And I feel like that is totally reasonable based on the list. There's tons of keywords on it. I haven't counted them. I need to put the title, but I haven't counted them yet, but there's a lot. I mean, I feel like having a list of keywords to refer to help trigger, jog your memory, just have something to kind of cross-check from time to time. Like I said earlier, sometimes you look at an item and you're like, I have nothing left to say about this item, but then you look at a list of keywords and you're like, oh yes, it does have this. Yep, it does have that. Okay, yep, good. And so it can help you add 3 or 4 more keywords to an item. That one of those could be the one that helps it sell. You don't know. I mean, the thing is, it's kind of a numbers game. You don't want to keyword stuff. You want to make sure it's appropriate and makes sense. But the more chances you have that your item comes up in search, the better. So those are my thoughts on having a keyword list to help you generate keywords for your listings. These were my 29 keywords that I put together for this video, but there are tons and tons more in the keyword list that's available on my Etsy store. And I really hope that some of these are new for you and will help you get more items sold. And if you have any experience with using some of these or have any keywords that you want to tell me about, I would love to know about it. Go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Now, let's talk a little bit about the strategies that I use to find out about some of these keywords. Some of them I hear about in haul videos and reseller videos and things that I watch on YouTube. Some I find out about on Instagram, and so those are always good ways to find out about things. But there are 2 things that I specifically do on Poshmark to find more keywords and to find out what buyers are searching for, and you can totally do this yourself. Again, I've done a lot of this and have made it available in the keywords list, but if you want to do it yourself from time to time, mark it on your calendar once a month or once a quarter and try this out. So basically what you want to do is go to the solds in Poshmark. So I would just pull up women in, go to shop, go to women, pull up the solds, go ahead and search by solds. And once you have a list of sold items, I just kind of scroll through and look and see if anything in the available portion of the listing title sparks my interest, or if there's a particular type of item that I'm not familiar with that I would actually click into the listing more and look at what keywords they have. So those are the 2 things I do in solds. Look at the titles, see if anything strikes me as a word that I don't know, or look at the pictures of the items and see if there's an item that I'm unfamiliar with that has some sort of feature that is interesting to me, and click into the listing and see how they describe that listing. So those are 2 things that I do within the solds that help me come up with keywords. And because the item sold, sure, you don't know why the item sold, but it can't hurt that that keyword is in there. And if it's a keyword that is unfamiliar to you, it's only a benefit. The next thing that I do is I click into any available listings. You can search women, search whatever, any available listing. And if you scroll all the way down, now I don't know if it does this on the phone. I think it's only when you do it on the computer. I'm pretty sure. On a desktop or a laptop. So when you scroll all the way down, there's an area and it says people also searched. And so there's like an area right before it that shows other pictures of other people's items that are similar. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about below that, it says people also searched, and they're just tags, keywords, searches, and they're just like little sections of words. And if you read them, they give you an idea of other types of searches that people have used to find a similar listing to the one that you're on. So if you just go and look up dress and pull up any available dress listing, scroll to the bottom, you'll see a bunch of random searches from random people of how they were searching for a dress. So sometimes it'll say black and white bodycon dress. Sometimes it'll say cute summer dress. Sometimes it'll say Trina Turk dress. Like, people can come up with any cockamamie thing. They're usually grouped like they're all gonna be plus size, or they're all gonna be black and white, or they're all gonna have similar keywords. But if you just click refresh at the top of your browser window, it will refresh and set up another set of words, another set of keywords that you can review. And I swear to God, every time I do this, I spend maybe 10 minutes on it, and I always come away with 1 or 2 new and interesting keywords that I never knew before. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to all of a sudden add those to my repertoire of everything, but it just kind of helps me get aware of what are people searching for, how are they searching, in what order are they putting the words. I mean, obviously there's millions and millions of searches probably on Poshmark every day. So this is just a small subset that you can research at any given time. But that's how I came up with some of the ones on this list. That's how I've come up with words previously to add to my listings. And I know that they must have helped because things sell around that kind of category once I've added those words. So I feel like once you unlock a keyword and it's something that you never knew before and applies to a lot of your listings and you go back and add it, pay attention, see if those listings sell anytime soon. It could very well be that it's that keyword. And if not, it just arms you with more knowledge going forward about how to describe future items. And I think that's good too. So those are two ways that I go about finding additional keywords that I find interesting or that buyers are using that I didn't know about. And I hope that will help you things right now to increase your sales. I hope that you would consider checking out my Etsy store and seeing if that keywords list is something you might like, or any of the other products that I have available for you as good reseller resources. Go ahead and like this video on your way out. Leave me a comment down below to say hi, and don't forget to subscribe so we can hang out again. If you're a current subscriber, thanks for coming back. It's nice to see you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!